Hi, Dave here, and today we're going to do another art with me session. So I think I'm going to try and separate the because I have this thing where I work on an illustration or a painting kind of day by day, hour by hour, kind of over time. That's what I did with the last episode, I guess, to kind of start out this series. But I also want to complement that kind of chill, slow-paced kind of thing with more quick stuff instead of I want something to be a bit more fast, I guess, and I want to kind of balance the slow-paced, chill type of project painting with more kind of fast-paced kind of painting or drawing or sketching, whatever. And I kind of want to separate it into like 3 ways. This is kind of my initial idea for this thing that I'm trying to do. So let me hit a nice brush here. So I want to kind of do 3 things. I want to do studies, right? Studies. I want to do studies. I want to do design stuff. And I want to do more story, mood, narrative. Is it 1 R? Double R? Hopefully I'm spelling it right. Fuck, let me just... Shit. Damn it, Dave. Narrative. Oh yeah. Okay. I'm smart. So maybe I could spend like a session just studying something, and then the next session would be designing, like taking certain forms and trying to make iterations of it, and then I can do other types of, or the next kind of episode could be more about story, trying to develop mood or creating atmosphere, stuff like that. And I feel like I should do that or these sorts of things along with the main kind of project kind of painting where I work on a painting or an illustration or art piece kind of day by day. And to me that's also more content, right? That's more content, so that's good. And it's the type of content where I share my actual process, and I'm kind of not wasting time because I feel like when I just work on my own thing by myself, people aren't seeing that, and that's not going to create much traffic, I guess. And you need to, or I need to, obviously get more exposure, right? And that part of that involves just publishing a lot of content and being present in the internet, right? So I need to do something along with the main painting or the main project kind of painting. And these are more kind of fast paced kinds of things, more like speed paintings. And right now I actually want to, because I feel like they're a way to develop my skills, obviously, right? So that's a good thing because I feel like I can learn stuff with the slow paced project paintings, but these are more kind of they're kind of like mini workshops for myself, right? And excuse me. Right now I actually feel like doing these in grayscale. I mean, I can eventually do them in color, but I feel like when I'm trying to find the idea, or let's say if I want to study something, I think for the most part I want to learn the forms of something. For example, right now I have like a mech from the FRANXX Darling in the FRANXX anime, and I kind of want similar forms in my design along with the Evangelion kind of mech. It's kind of a mix between an organic and mechanical kind of form. It's more animated, I guess, and feels or looks good to me. And if I'm going to study the form, color isn't really obviously a priority there, so grayscale ought to be the way. And it just saves time because if you consider color while you're studying along with the forms, it just adds so many levels. And I think it's good to have some kind of focus and to kind of simplify things. So grayscale is always a good thing, or a way to try doing it in grayscale. And of course, simple brushes. I'm going to pick out the most simple brushes that I have. Eventually, I will add them to the essentials brush pack because they're pretty much essential, because they're kind of just basic. And I think this will help me focus more on the learning than the actual painting. Because when I do paint, like with the recent episode I did, I do like to vary up my brushes, because it's just kind of a stylistic thing where I do like brush variety. But when I'm doing like a study, or when I'm trying to design something or develop a story, it's not really that important. I think those kinds of things, that variety stuff and other techniques, are really more for the main painting or illustration or the art piece. So yeah, it's good to have some kind of focus, I guess. And also, just a side note, let me just reduce the size of this and make the brush smaller, because smaller, fuck. I was also considering what exactly I should be doing with these, because I do know I need to study, because I developed that visual library and know actually how to render or draw or paint something, because it's more of the input, right? Input. And these two are more like outputs. This one is more iterative. We're trying to design something, but the output is the variation of designs, right? And that includes story as well. Story, the thing, the message you want to convey, is also more of an output kind of thing. Shit, what's my point? So yeah, I'm trying to work on these sorts of things, right? But I was trying to find what should tie everything together. And I was trying to find my focus. And I feel like this is a very important part. Being deliberate about things. Because if I just study all sorts of things, I'm not going to have like an expertise. Why not invest my time on something that I actually would like to learn, like more? Because I want to learn like a lot of things, right? And that's pretty much everyone who wants to do art. You know, you want to learn like a lot of things, but there should be that one thing that, and you should be kind of honest with yourself, and just you have to find that thing. Because once you have like a focus, everything just, it's like a funnel. This is like a funnel, so it kind of focuses all your energy into like one direction. And it's just going to make things even more efficient. And so you need to be a bit deliberate with what exactly you should be doing. So with doing these things on the side, along with the main kind of project painting, I feel like it needs to be focused as well with the project painting. So what am I trying to be focused at right now? Or what do I feel like my focus is on? For me, it's I obviously have a thing for organic mechanical stuff. Think xenomorphs and the aliens, even the Predator. They're kind of a mix between a mechanical, organic, biological, mechanical kind of thing. Same thing for the Evangelion and the Darling and the FRANXX, or the FRANXX mechs, and the Darling and the FRANXX series. I do like the kind of shape, the kind of mix. So I do know that's my direct. I do like mechs. Robots are always a cool thing for me. And of course chicks. I like chicks, but I feel like I should, because I'm also struggling with my human anatomy. I feel like I want to be able to tell stories, you know, stories. And to do that, I need to have like a wide range of skills, right? So when it comes to my human anatomy, and character is human anatomy, and that includes like you know, like the fashion thing as well, like attire and folds and shit, or characterization, because I want my characters to have emotion, right? So I need to learn how to like draw faces, different expressions, and I feel like I should separate this. And I think this is a great way to for me, I did separate this, and I just placed everything, or for me, I put it all in my Patreon. And I feel like this is a great way for me to separate this thing, because I feel like I'm doing studies here as well, right? But I feel like I should focus more on the human anatomy people, essentially, on that side. And I'm still even trying to figure out what my Patreon ought to be. So I'm trying to like jumble quite a few things here. And if ever I do studies here, it's more about anything but human anatomy or people in general, right? So I have to make that kind of distinction. And whenever I do draw people or study people, it still should be with the aim of creating this kind of thing that I want to kind of create, this kind of story of like, it's kind of like Evangelion and Darling in the Franxx with a bit of aliens, I guess. So I'm not sure exactly where I'm headed exactly, but I do have like a direction, right? Like I like the flow of things that's happening right now. So I feel like the project thing, the slow pace kind of thing should be in line with the fast paced stuff, like the studies, the design, the story. I'll put them all in like one category, and maybe I'll kind of cycle through each one of them day by day, right? And maybe I can just provide or limit it to like 1 hour sessions. The same thing I do with the project painting, right? There's work A, work B, and that's C, I guess. So yeah. So that's kind of my initial idea on how to approach my art. My art stuff. So yeah. I just think it's very important to be deliberate. You know, like everything should kind of tie in together, and that it's just going to make you more. I think it's going to create exponential growth if you have this thing, this focus, this deliberate kind of thing. And you also have to learn how to choose, because choosing is kind of a hard thing to do as well, especially if you have like lots of interests, like where exactly you should focus on. There will always be a part of me that's kind of doubting, like if I should do this thing, but I feel like that part of me or that voice is kind of lessening itself, or it's just going away naturally. It won't completely go away, but I think I feel more comfortable, I guess, with the direction that I'm headed. And I think this takes trial and error, you know? I've done like creatures and stuff like that, environments, and I feel like I don't know, I feel more focused even though I don't know what my focus is exactly, you know? I just have the direction. So I feel like everything from this to this to this should be kind of headed somewhere. It should have like, it should be parallel to each other, you know what I mean? So you need that kind of direction. Okay, so I'm going to do some studies now. So I do want to be able to kind of render more solid forms, because and just kind of take away some of the details that these characters or mechs have. So I think it's appropriate to just make this, let me put this here, black and white adjustment layer, Control Alt G. So I made it a clipping mask, so it only affects this image, right? Or you know what? Right. Since I'm focusing on the grayscale part, let me just lock this. Since I'm focusing on the grayscale and not so much on the color, maybe I don't have to make this just affect the image, right? I can put it there, lock it. This is the reference. I'll lock that as well. And paint, or I'll call it art. Alright, so now you'll see me study the forms, right? So you can study along with me if you want, and I'm going to use simple brushes, right? Simple brushes. So, because I'm not really focused on the like the artistic aspect, right? I'm focusing more on learning certain ideas, right? So I'll try using my kind of thick airbrush. This is actually not included currently in the Essentials brush pack, but I will be updating it soon. It's a different kind of airbrush. It does have like a thickness to it. So how do I study this thing? Because I feel like whenever I'm doing like, say, the mech I did, this Ava inspired mech in the previous video, I'm just kind of jumbling with the forms. Like I don't have the experience to actually paint shit. Paint shit, you know what I mean? So so we're going to focus on the grayscale, simple brushes, and just I want to get used to just painting these sorts of forms, right? And I'm actually not sure whether I should paint it, should I draw it, but by the way, I have no idea what I'm doing, so yeah. Look at how the forms of this FRANXX is pretty simple, not a lot of texture. I've noticed that in Japanese sorts of artwork, they're more of the rendering types of artists. If you compare it to, say, more Chinese types of artwork, I've noticed that they're generally more gritty and textured, right? And for the Koreans, they're very heavy on the inks. Think Kim Jung-gi and the Miss, there's this chick, Miss Juicy Jaisu. She's also really good with the inks or watercolors, like lots of like wash brush types of artwork, heavy on the black and whites or grayscale stuff. I do like the sword spear thing. I want to right now. I'm actually studying this arm a bit, and right now I actually have my hand in the side of my XP Pen Pro 13.3 Pro. Let's get a darker value there. So I'm kind of mixing between painting and drawing. It's kind of, I actually want to do both kind of at the same time, because obviously that's going to be way more efficient, right? Oh, now this is actually a flat kind of thing, because in anime it's not like a 3D rendered thing, right? It's usually often displayed as something that's a bit flat, slightly flat. Like the rendering is kind of in that style, I guess. So in a lot of sci-fi stuff, there are often these segmentations, you know, like you separate the form by just adding a bit of a line, right? And it also helps kind of suggest or illustrate the form, or show or give an idea of what the form is. Now notice this is a very, very shit rendering, but again, I'm trying to study the forms. And look at how it's so minimal, right? Oh, I see. There's a bit of a cut here. And a lot of like these mechs are just like clumps of like blocks. So you've got like the main forearm, and then you've got this extra bit of thing, and it just keeps adding on and on and on, you know? So see that? And this is why it's helpful to have a simple brush, because it removes the need to be artistic about your studies or designs, right? You can do that later on once you've, you know, like decided on a certain illustration or kind of cover piece, whatever, you can do that later. Right now, it's more about studies, right? So it actually stops here. So there's a bit of a, it goes up even a bit. See that? And I like how in this mech, the hand is actually more humanoid-ish, even the body. It has the female figure, because in this series, the pilots are actually dudes. I mean, they both kind of pilot it, but the girl actually is the one that's moving for the most part, I think, or is the body. So she takes more of the hits, right? And the guy is heavily on the pilot kind of side. So you essentially need both to be able to pilot this mech. Unlike the Eva types of mechs where you just need one. So that's kind of a cool thing. So we'll pick this value. It's kind of dark. We'll make it darker just a bit. There you go. Now you can always start like with a soft kind of almost like a wash, and then you can refine the edges later, I think, right? So rough suggestion of the hand here. Although it's becoming more of a human thing, so maybe I'll just illustrate like the silhouette of it, or a rough kind of shape, because human anatomy is something I can study in the kind of after this session, because I feel like it's a bigger topic, you know, like human anatomy, and drawing or painting people in general is a bigger, more complex kind of topic. Alright, so it does angle a bit here, or it does kind of meet or has a bit of a corner, but in this rendering, it's not shaded. It only has like a line, so maybe I can change that a bit and just do that. Oh, and even this guy is a bit, and there are like a lot of like white, almost like white highlights in the, especially in the corners. And they really do provide a kind of rendered look. I think there's another artist called Nivan something Chantara. He has like an art book of his work, and his mechs are also kind of the thing that I'm going for. Kind of like a mix between a biological. It essentially has organic and non-organic forms. It has a nice kind of blend of the two. And it does lean more on the organic side, I guess, a little bit. And yeah. See, that's it. That's not a bad study. Kind of. So you can actually see me go back and forth between a bigger brush and a smaller brush. The smaller brush to kind of define things and kind of shade certain areas, I guess. And this bigger airbrush to kind of fill in large gaps or large spaces, right? Shit, I've been doing this for 24 minutes. Oh no, I did kind of like a discussion in the beginning, so whatever. Oh shit. Let me just hide that thing. So I want to study this part as well. The hand, I'll just leave it away or leave it out. And then I also want to study this shit. This shit. This shit. This area right here. And also the sword spear thing, because I feel like there are so many things here that I can kind of take away from. And even this part. I'm not sure how much I can do like in an hour, but fuck it. So right now I'm actually doing more observational studies, and even I'm trying to do also a similar thing with the human anatomy, Because I feel like you have to balance or do a bit of everything. You can't just keep doing observational studies, because that's actually, I feel like it's going to retard your development. Because I've seen artists that are pretty good that are very good, in human anatomy, but the moment they start doing things from imagination, they kind of suck because they haven't done it, you know? And I think you need to have like a balance of the two. So you do need observational studies. You do need kind of breakdown kind of studies where you're a bit more in depth, like you're sometimes tracing over something, trying to break down the forms, the shapes, the contours and shit, the silhouettes, whatever that thing is. You know what I mean? So we'll use black here. Oh, we can use this guy. So this thing is black here. This thing is supposed to be more gray. Rough indication of the hand is all I need. Sorry. I mean, this is just how I do things, or how I'm going to approach things. So study the way you want, and you have to also be very smart with the way you study. Again, you have to be deliberate. It's the same thing with kind of like working out. Like if you're not into the exercise, and if it's not really part of your goal, why are you going to work out on something or work a body part that's not really part of your goal? You know, it does happen. You know, like for me, I feel like my legs are a bit more developed or ahead than my upper body, so obviously I'm going to have a bit more of a focus on the upper body, right? Just because it's lagging from my legs. Like my legs have that natural kind of form. I mean, I haven't really worked them out as much, but they have like a natural shit. How do you do it? Like they're kind of like, you know, like they have muscle, like you can tell, but my arms are kind of lagging. My back and chest, obviously. So I need to work those out and kind of balance my body, right? So you need to have, so doing like squats and shit, maybe not now. That's not the focus. It ought not to be the focus. So same thing for your like studies. Like what exactly do you want to study? So you have to be picky, right? For me, I want sci-fi. I like sci-fi stuff, so obviously I'm going to be studying more sci-fi types of things, right? See this? This is more of an addition, right? So this is the main thing. We have an additive. Am I saying it right? Additive? Fuck. This additional element, right? That's kind of just on top of the main thing. And you can do like cuts, segmentations and shit. Within the main thing, within the additional thing. I think you can say additive. Can I search the word? Additive. Okay, it's a word. It's official. It's a word. I need coffee. Oh god, it feels good. Fuck me. God. And again, look at how much I've saved time just by using one brush. And this is why I think people suggest using a simple round brush or just one brush. Now, yeah, they often sometimes say that for like your main paintings, but I feel like especially for studies and shit, or when you're trying to design something, just keep it as simple as possible, because being artsy, being artistic isn't the main focus often when you're doing the heavy kind of grunt work. I'm very tempted to do the hand, so I'm going to just have to fulfill my desires, right? My desires. Oh, it's a bit different. It's more of a, well, how do you do that? It's kind of pointy. And you don't even have to, for me, I don't have to copy the exact values of the reference. I don't have to like color pick them. Because I'm studying the form, so I don't really have to, for as long as the forms are there, I think I'm okay. Oh, so it dips down. You see this? This is a plane, right? Right. Oh, it's more like this. It goes here. Like it goes to a corner, right? And this should be slightly lighter, I think, right? And this should be darker, I think. Just a bit of black, I guess. And we can go like full black in this part. Maybe if you see these two values, the kind of wrist protection thing and the hand or the insides of it, they're kind of very close. So what you can do, or what I would do, is I would just make a small line to kind of suggest the separation, right? It's not always realistic, but it helps to see the shape, right? So I think it's often when you paint or render things, you're kind of doing drawing and painting at the same time, you know? So, and I really do like the anime kinds of hands. They're so like sexy and very like long. They're very, very cool in that sense. Am I right? Oh, you see this plane here in the bottom? I could bring in a lighter value. Maybe I'll bring this guy again. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. A lot of, I think focusing on the planes, right, can really help you in doing lots of, especially more hard surface sci-fi kinds of things. See that? I look at how there are kind of black lines. Now obviously this is kind of a mix between, it's a mix between a line or ink rendering or ink illustration and a slight color rendering, right? Okay. So I think I'm focusing too much on the hands, so I may have to just... Oh, look at this thing here. It's kind of like a lighter value, right? It's a highlight. Now obviously, since the background is light, I have to bring in a dark to define the actual edge. I could just bring in like a white color, but you know, like it's fine. I mean, I could also use like the mixer brush and all, but right now maybe that's not super appropriate right now, because a lot of it is hard surface and it doesn't. You don't need to be so like nothing needs to be blended as much. So there you go, right? See that? Notice how I'm using a darker value in the edge, just a bit, to help define that edge. So do what you have to do to make the form clear. So if it's too close together, like the values are too similar, and you can tell if it's kind of, if you yourself are kind of confused, then you may have to like add some kind of line or some kind of highlight to suggest that something is separated, right? So just my 2 cents, bro. Same thing here, it's too light, so I can bring in a darker value, just a bit. See that? I don't have to use black always, so... Okay, that's one study. I think I've learned enough. Oh shit, let me just handle the planes here. Learn how to paint the corners. Right? I made this one too dark, but I think it's okay. See that? Excuse me. See that rounded corner there? It's pretty round. For this guy, baby black isn't appropriate to define the edge. Something lighter would suffice. Right? And I want this to be a clear cut, right? So, by the way, I do suggest that you if you have like a Wacom pen, or I'm assuming you have like 2 buttons in your pen. For me, what I do is I make the top button the Alt key, so you actually don't have to keep hitting the keyboard or any button to kind of color pick. So I don't even have to like touch anything but the pen, and I can just randomly just color pick and just move my thumb slightly or up and down quickly to select different values, right? Or colors or hues. And it's very, very efficient. And that's kind of my secret, I guess. My ultimate secret. See that? I'm learning. I am learning. So again, we're doing more observational stuff, and by doing the observation, we can actually learn a few things here and there, you know. Around the corners here. Look at how it has a bit of a light value. The guy that I mentioned, Nivan Shintara. Let me just search his name. Nivan. How do you say his name? I think he's French or something. Chanthara, based in Montreal, Canada. I don't think I've done an art review yet of his work, but maybe I did. I can't remember. But he actually has like a lot of quick sketches where he posts the line sketch and the kind of rendered colored version, and they actually look like they're from anime, or they're from an anime kind of thing, just because of the way it's rendered. It's clean, not a lot of texture, which is very common in like anime, obviously. Very clean kind of look, and lots of like highlights. Yeah, so Nivan H. Chanthara. Yeah, I actually do like to. I want to buy the book, but right now I'm kind of not in the position to just buy whatever I want, you know. Oh, look at that! The lines don't have to be fully straight, so that's another thing we've learned. It can go like, let's make the brush smaller. Maybe see that? So you can play with like the lines and shit, or with the segmentation, the cuts. Oh yeah, I'll call them the cuts, right? You can change the lines of it. And it does have like 2 values. So there's a lighter value here. If I may, maybe I'll select this. And you want to make it consistent, so they're going to be on one side, right? So it's suggesting that it's kind of beveled in a way. Slightly, I guess. I'm still not super confident with the reasoning of it. But, oh, and you can kind of look at this. It goes like this. And then this thing here in the middle is like this. So there's a bit of spacing here, right? So that's a slight change in the silhouette, right? We can do that. We can make the edge slightly darker, just a bit. Now notice I'm very zoomed in, and it's okay. Because I am studying something here, so look at that, right? That's not a bad rendering, right? It's very basic, one brush, but I'm learning. Oh shit! It's almost one smooth line here. And it becomes smaller as you go further away. So the edges do have, they're not just kind of one thickness always. Sometimes they do have a bit of a thickness to it. And there's kind of a slight rise and fall in terms of thickness. So it gets thinner maybe in one side and then gets thicker in another. I'm such a genius, by the way. So hopefully you're studying something along with me, or maybe you're kind of studying the same thing, it doesn't matter. Just make sure you're spending time studying as well, and not just, you know, doing random shit. And again, going back to the idea of being focused and being deliberate with you. Oh shit! It goes like this and this and this. Okay. Wow, I'm learning. Going back to the idea of focus, you need to be deliberate. That's the point. You can't just be doing random shit, because you're going to waste. I mean, you are learning something, but it's better if you have some kind of direction, right? To help kind of guide things towards a certain kind of direction. Oh, the corner here has a light source, and then this one is pretty much flat. And I do recommend when you're painting like this, if you want to paint cleanly, or if you want to have a rendered look, avoid the color dynamics, or even the transfer kind of jitter, the opacity and flow jitter. Especially color dynamics, because it's going to create some kind of texture. Let's say you want to like paint or erase a certain edge, you're going to see that kind of like a difference in values, and it's not going to look as clean. So just be wary of that. Now if you do want that kind of gritty look, that textured look, sure, but just be cautious with that. I feel like I'm not doing a good job with this edge right here. So we'll work on that. But right now I want to do this, right? Right? Shit, 44 minutes? God! You know, I'll be honest, I did talk in the beginning, so maybe I can do, after I do these two, I can study maybe the shoulder bit. Right? And I can continue the session later. Right? Fuck. Or tomorrow. Oh, by the way, just another thing as well. Before you can actually get efficient with your with everything, you need to first figure something out. You need to figure it out first before you can get efficient. So I think that's why people say don't really focus on speed in the beginning. Try to ingrain the idea in your mind first. And then once you have that thing ingrained, then you can be more deliberate with your efficiency after that. And there's also that natural sense of efficiency just because you're kind of doing the same thing again and again, or doing a similar thing again and again. You're going to end up being more efficient. So the point is to be more focus on if you haven't figured out something, don't push yourself to work fast, right? So in my day, I do want to have I have a schedule and shit. I don't have I feel like it's a good thing to kind of tone back the efficiency, like the quotas, because I have like a specific quota that I have to do day by day to kind of help manage things, right? I can let that take a back seat, especially when I haven't figured something out. I think that's a perfect time to just relax a bit or take your time in figuring that thing out. And then once you've figured that thing out, you can start being more efficient and focus more on the time spent on something, right? So right now I'm actually figuring out the things that I'm not really sure about is this session, this kind of art with me session, or this series. I mean, I am confident with let's say the project painting, where I work on something hour by hour, and maybe in the span of a few days I finish some kind of painting, art piece, or illustration. So that's kind of good. I'm kind of confident with the direction. And now, just by doing this, it's also part of that series, this thing, but it's not really more about finishing an illustration. It's more about studies, more about the grunt work, like doing studies, making designs, learning how to illustrate stories, just in a quick form, right? So I think I can do that. Just by doing this right now, I have like a feeling that this will be like a good series that people can kind of follow through and have fun with, right? And by the way, when it comes to like storytelling, I heard this Cynics had this video, this 2020 kind of video recap thingy, and he did kind of say on the side, kind of a side comment, that your thumbnails or quick paintings or something should look pretty interesting enough for a pro to be able to do something with it. So like you can, it doesn't matter if you're not like fully detailed, or if your thing is not fully rendered, but if in the thumbnail version it looks pretty cool, I think you have a skill there, so I think that's where I can practice my storytelling, right? My mood stuff. And I want to make, composition I think is also a part of that narrative mood story thingy. Okay. And you just figure it out first and then work your way up, right? And with figuring things out, you'll know when you've figured it out once you've have a system. And I try to go back also to to my video production. Like, it took a while for me to learn how to make videos, and right now I don't even think about like editing, audio editing. Everything is just set. Like, I know what to do. You know what I mean? And it's just something that took time. I was pretty slow in the beginning, obviously, because I had no idea what I was doing, but there came a point where I just made videos, and it was just a thing that I did, There was hardly any kind of internal debate, like, should I do this, should I do that? Everything was just set. And I know because of that sense of just straightforwardness, that direction, that directedness, I know I have a solid, dependable system. And the same thing goes for, my schedule right now. I'm trying to figure that thing out. For example, I'm working on my Patreon as well, and I still don't have like a good system yet. And James Clear always, I emphasizes the fact that if you're serious about your goals, you should be serious about your systems. Your systems are your habits, your routines, your schedule. It's pretty much the thing that's going to bring you to your goal. So having a goal is not enough. You need to have like a plan, you know? I feel like I'm not doing a good job here. With this part, it's kind of rounded. Right? Let me study. Oh, even that thing is rounded. This thing, it isn't straight. It's kind of like a... It has a bit of a tilt. Or a curve, right? Oh, I'm shading right now. That's not necessary, Dave. Come on. Sorry about that. I'm out of coffee. I think water will do for now. I think I do have an addiction to coffee, but it's fine. You know, we all have our demons. Oni-chan. Nandeyo. I don't know what that means, but I've heard that a lot in anime. So if you're Japanese or if you can speak Japanese, please help me. Ni-chan. Oni-chan. Oh, I can make the edge darker or lighter, just a bit. For fun, right? Holy shit. See that? You can. I do suggest when you study stuff, try to paint directly. You know, if you want to get good at painting, just paint directly, and don't. Well, I'm not saying it's not a rule, but I think you'll learn faster when you just paint on like one layer. You know, because if you have like so many layers to manage, it's just going to be annoying as hell. And it's easier to fix mistakes when you just kind of paint over it anyway. So we're at 52 minutes now, so I feel bad. But I think I'll study one more thing, so maybe this video will run for like an hour and a half or something. But I'm cool with that, you know, it's fine. And I actually do feel like the studies or these sorts of things should, like an hour is actually kind of too short. For me, but I'm also considering I'm considering the amount of videos that I have to do because I do want to jump up my production. So, you know, it's kind of a sad thing, but eventually I will get there. For the Patreon thing, right now I'm focusing more on the images. I did kind of set a goal for myself. Like once I reach like 500 patrons, I think that's when I can do like videos or record my study sessions, you know, similar to this thing that I'm doing right now. And maybe I can post the videos on like Vimeo because I feel like that's the most appropriate thing, because since I'm doing like human anatomy, I feel like posting it on YouTube and just kind of you know, like privating it is, or not privating, but unlisting it is, I don't know. I don't think it's appropriate, you know? So maybe I can post it on Vimeo or something in the future, but that's going to take a while, you know? For me to get an actual, like, enough patrons, I need to have traffic, right? And right now, my YouTube channel has, like, let me just check out my progress in terms of, like, a following. I have 67 subscribers, so it's I'm so far off. I'm actually kind of annoyed in a good. I'm a bit jealous, I guess. There's this guy called Hybrid Calisthenics. He's an awesome guy. I love his channel, but his growth is just fucking amazing. Like in a matter, like I think he started off in TikTok, and then he jumped onto YouTube, and now he has like, you know what? Let me search his channel. Hybrid Calisthenics. He has like 748,000 subscribers. and he does like a lot of stories, you know, those short video thingies, and maybe that's the trick to kind of go to the out to kind of meet or satisfy the algorithm thingy. I'm not sure, but fuck, this guy had like a few thousand when I first found him in my story section thingy in YouTube, and in a matter of like a few months or weeks even, he's like, fuck, I think just give it like a few months, he'll reach like 1 million. Imagine the amount of ad revenue though. I hate my life. And I am kind of jealous, but you know, we're all in our own journeys, I guess. God. Okay, I'm satisfied with. Oh, let me just erase. Oh, the edge. I'm done with this. This is okay. Kind of. Not satisfied. There you go. Yeah, that's more appropriate. Ooh. And it's not bad to refine things when you're studying, because the moment you actually do your own projects, you'll learn how to you can take away from that study session the parts where you can refine things and bring it to your own work, you know? So yes. Fuck me. And by the way, just do what you want, right? Of course, have that business mindset, right? But try to make it work. You know, like if you feel like you can do something. For example, I remember seeing like kind of just randomly checking on. I don't do this a lot, but I remember a few months back, I kind of just checked upon a few of my blockmates, and some of them are like part-time yoga instructors now, and I'm like, oh shit. And some are doing like art, so that's kind of a good thing as well, you know? And I'm kind of happy for them because they know that they have their thing. Because it's so common in college to not be in the right course, because for example, in the place where I studied, UST, there was no concept art kind of course, and almost always if you're an artist, they always put you in the architecture department, because it's the most kind of safe, I guess, and whatever. And by the way, for struggling right now, just keep pushing on, because to me, you are the strongest when you're doing something despite being the weakest. Whoa, knowledge, wisdom, shit. Dave quote me, bitch. Because for me, like, for example, I can do pull-ups, right? But it's not really that difficult now. And if I compare myself to when I just first started out, I think I was stronger then, like mentally, spiritually, and emotionally, because I just started working out with like a bar, you know, learning how to hang from a bar because I was so weak. And I think that was the strongest me, you know, because it's easier not because I can do it, but it's harder when you can't do it. So you should give yourself a pat on the back when you're doing something you can't do, right? When you're forcing yourself and just putting the time in to get used to something. And it's very, very commendable. And you shouldn't be so hard on yourself, you know? Why am I drawing the hand? Oh my god, Dave, focus. Okay, right? So you're always the strongest when you're doing something despite being the weakest, right? So give yourself a pat on the back. Because once you've got the thing, once you learn how to do something, the struggle isn't going to be as hard, so you're not going to struggle as much. Maybe a bit, obviously, because you're not going to be like a god always, but it's going to be easier. So I'm very proud of seeing like beginner artists, because I am kind of, well, I'm not a beginner, I guess, but seeing them put in the time and seeing them start their own journey despite sucking is awesome. This thing in the wrist goes beyond this silhouette, so it does break it a bit, right? It goes like this, goes beyond it a bit, and it does that. Shit, we're at 1 hour now. Oh, I should have started on the shoulder thingy, but life's a bitch, bro. Let me just fix the hand, just the silhouette, bro, because I'm not very happy with how that's turning out, right? Yep, so let me just clean this part right here. I'm not sure if I'm doing it right. Okay, that's enough. Very rough indication of the hand there. Maybe I'll bring something lighter to kind of just separate the hand from the actual mech. Oh, it goes darker here. Okay, it's not super clean, but I think I've learned enough from this thing, right? Whoa, that's pretty clean. It's not typically my style to be very kind of contained. I do like the impressionistic kind of approach, but I do know that I probably will have to focus or refine some parts of a painting or illustration, you know, to be able to make it more understandable and add a bit of clarity and shit, right? So, oh, and in this segmentations there are kind of breaks, like it does this thing, right? Like a bit of a slight cut, right? There are dips and shit. Dip shit. You know what I mean? A slight break in the silhouette. See? Damn. Fucking god. Bro, you're such a pro, bro. Oni-chan. Okay, maybe I should take a break. Because I have been sitting here for like an hour and my butt is kind of just Oni-chan. Okay. I'm just going to stand up for a second here. Maybe you can stand up with me and be an idiot. Okay. We're back. We're back. We're back. So you know what? I actually do want to like lock this thing. To be safe. There you go. By the way, when you click this lock button, this means you can't paint it. You can't paint on the layer, right? You'll see this kind of icon, but you can move it around and oh shit, that's disgusting. I'll select this and then, oh, select this. Layer via cut. Can I do that? Oh, you can't because it's locked. Okay. Layer via cut. Delete this. Lock this with this brush thingy icon. And now you can kind of move it around and yeah. Should I stop here and just work on the next video? or I can study this next time. Maybe. You know what? I think 1 hour sessions are good. Although I kind of feel guilty. I do want to like study more. But I also have to like figure out the whole Patreon thing. No. Or you know what? I'll do a simple massing, and then I can so I can have something to start off in the next video where I continue the studies. Wait, what did I discuss? Because I do want to like do some design stuff, right? Shit. Should I just leave the studies as it is now? Like just one thing? I feel like I should like at least complete like a sheet, right? And this is why, you know, art takes time, by the way. So, fuck. Maybe I'll continue this until I finish a sheet of it or something. And then once I'm done with the sheet, I can focus on design and apply some of what I've learned and try to come up with, you know, like shape design. I think design is mostly about shape design, like the overall kind of silhouette and stuff like that. Trying to create some consistency in your forms and shit. And maybe that's where I can apply what I've learned here. Although I probably won't bring it to this kind of level where I do like kind of refine things. Maybe a bit, but not too much. So again, I feel like I don't have a system yet. I'm figuring it out as I go. So I suggest you do the same thing with your own process thingy. But right now I feel like I should go to my Patreon and work on my characters. Because right now I'm actually, as of this recording, I'm focusing more on the heads and faces and shit. Because yeah. Whenever I do like human anatomy studies in the future or shit in the past, whenever I would do them, I would always skip the head. Just because I was kind of scared and shit, and it's not a good thing, you know? I have to be more ballsy in 2021 because the elitists out there are being ballsy also, so we have to respond by being ballsy ourselves. So I think I'll stop it here. I need to learn to let go. I have so many things to do, and approach things day by day, hour by hour, layer by layer, one step at a time, and figure it out as you go. So thank you for watching. I think I'll stop. I will stop. Oh, you know what? Fuck it. I'll do a rough kind of sketch, and then I can kind of refine or study the details in the next video, so I can have something to start with, right? I want to study this part right here, the shoulder thingy, so we'll just do a quick mass of it, right? And it's always a good thing to start with like a big shape, am I right? To just get the feel of it. Oh, this one's lighter. You know what, maybe I should use some white. Or maybe not, maybe I should just use the background here. Some gray. And use that to kind of help suggest the see what I'm doing right now is I'm actually drawing and painting at the same time, right? So it's kind of like this. It has a bit of and it helps if you're kind of good or if you have experience doing observational studies. If you can draw a person by having a reference and you can essentially copy it, I think you have enough skills to be able to I think you have enough experience to be able to start studying more, or to be able to study in a sense or with the initiative of being able to draw or paint something from imagination. Because the next skill you have to develop after learning observational painting drawing is imaginative stuff. Because even when you're doing imaginative stuff, you're also using reference, right? But you have to find a way to manipulate that, because almost always when you find a reference, it's not going to be in a perfect position for you, so you have to be very creative with that sort of thing. So having shape ideas, having form kind of knowledge, perspective also, I think is a good thing. So right now I think I'm going to base this study off of the values of this reference. So it's a bit different from this one, but yeah. Oh, the arm is so small. It's so thin. Very petite. Oh no, Oni-chan. Right? So you can define the edge by playing with values. You could do a line, or you could just make the other side darker or lighter, whatever makes the edge clear, right? I feel like I'm some kind of teacher, and maybe this is what I was born to do, to teach. I actually imagined back in college being a teacher, an art kind of professor, you know. I would daydream about that in class, and yeah, it's just pretty weird, but I guess I'm kind of doing the same thing, you know. And yeah. Now, of course, I don't want to just teach. I want to be able to make my own stuff, so that's why I'm doing the whole project painting thingy, because that's a way for me to create something. Maybe in the future I can work on stuff that will eventually become prints, and I can like sell them. Whoa, more money, more money. Rough suggestion of the arm here, just to show that it's part of something, right? Right. See that? Super rough, but it's there, you know what I mean? So it's basically this guy. Now the shoulder isn't too big, sorry. Or you know what? Maybe I'll finish this study. And by the way, if you're hearing a clicking sound in the I am using the dial wheel in my screen display tablet to kind of decrease and increase the brush size. I think the default setting is a zoom. Oh, I don't like it. I want it to be lighter. Ooh, yeah, I think the default of the dial wheel is like a zoom thingy, so you can kind of zoom in the canvas, but it's not really my thing, you know. So that's a very rough indication. See how I'm drawing and painting at the same time? Okay, even in the cuts, there's a thickness to it, right? Thicker here in the bottom, or there's more of an opening here. And here, there is an opening, but it's not completely dark. You can see a bit of the interior design. So learn how to play with the cuts, the thickness of it, the curves of it, how it curves, if it's straight, does it go to a corner, right? And you know what, it does add to the variety of the thing, right? I think this is what ink artists really, they're more better, like comic book, manga kinds of folks. They know how to like vary their line weights. They can even do it to suggest shadow, even if they don't have like a big block of like black ink. They can suggest shadow by just thickening certain parts in their line work, right? So that's pretty cool. So variety is always a good thing. Diversity. Inclusive design. Anyway, let's make this darker, right? And I want to get that value. And again, I do suggest changing the shortcut for the top button of your pen. And I'm actually so glad again that I bought this XP Pen Pro screen display tablet, because I think it has definitely helped me in my art. Now I'm also very glad that my parents bought me the Wacom Intuos Pro in the beginning, because now I can basically do both, and I think it's a great starter to learn how to paint with just a simple kind of graphic tablet. And you have to eventually you will get used to it the same way you're kind of used to using a mouse. It just takes maybe a week. For me, it took me about a week to get to a comfortable level, and it won't take long. So just be pushy and be stubborn about learning how to use it, and you will learn how to use it. You know what I mean? Look at the shapes here. Very, very interesting, right? So even within shapes, there are planes. Same thing here. Main form, and there are like cuts. So this is not a cut, it's more of a plane. Like this here is a cut. This is more of like a plane suggestion of a flat surface. Again, it helps to do things in grayscale if you're studying like the forms or just shapes in general, whatever, or rendering. So again, it helps to eliminate things that aren't necessary, right? So for me, color isn't super important right now. I do want to be able to learn how to color grayscale paintings. I think that's very efficient. Because when you do grayscale paintings, you can like do a lot of them quickly, and you can just focus on the colors later on, and it helps kind of phase out your work instead of doing everything at once. You know what I mean? So diversity. See, it's okay to be rough, you know. It's okay to be a bit rough. Curves. And again, when doing stuff like this, like curves, it helps to have like a screen display, because it's pretty hard to do this with a graphic tablet. So fuck you, man. One day you will get there, hopefully. Or if you're really struggling, you can ask your parents. Please. I'm suffering. Or ask your bigger, hopefully you have like a bigger sibling to help you out. Oh, this line is straight, right? It's just one line, so we have to delete that and make this dark. Oh no, kind of. It's light here, but darker here. So a lot of sci-fi stuff is just segmentation, you know? Okay. See that? Maybe I'll stop in 1:30 and I can like finish it in the next video, because I also have to think about the rendering time. I do also find it helpful for me when I take breaks in between, because I did start out batching my stuff where I would record everything in one session, and then in the end of the day I would batch render everything, because in Camtasia you can kind of batch produce a bunch of videos. It's very, very efficient, but for me, I think I like having that break in between, and I think it's just more efficient for me and more natural, I guess. More natural. Yeah. So now I'm just focusing on the big shapes, I guess, and I can refine things later on. So hopefully, again, you are studying with me or something, or painting. And because I don't think it's a good idea to just sit and listen, you know. It's good to like sketch. Hopefully you're doodling something at the very least, right? And again, I'm feeling good about this new series. I can, I can post videos daily, not just, the art reviews and shit. And I feel like for the art reviews, I want to balance that with like tutorials, but then again, I have to be able to know something well enough. Well, that's not true. You don't have to be a pro to be able to share knowledge, right? Teaching isn't really a profession. Ooh, I mean, it's something that's natural, I guess, So I can teach something, right? It doesn't have to be a perfect tutorial. I just share what I learned and shit, or I can share what I've recently learned. Maybe I can relate it to maybe I can relate it to my human anatomy studies, right? I can do like a video because I don't do videos in the Patreon. I do like the images. Maybe I do sheets or pages of my studies. So maybe once I've learned something kind of roughly enough, maybe I can do a video and post it on YouTube instead, right? So everyone can kind of get a nice summary of what I've learned. And if they want, they can actually just check out my Patreon. But yeah, that's I can do that. So I'm essentially posting a tutorial for free, like just the basic fundamentals of something. I think that's a good kind of approach. Oh shit, the shape goes here, right? It goes like this. Like that. Whoa. See, look at how efficient it is to use just one brush. Fucking awesome, bro. And this soft brush does have like a texture to it. It's just simple noise texture. You can't really see it, but it's you can actually make, I'll just show you the settings. It's the transfer setting is set at 0% for the flow and the opacity. The texture does have like it's a simple noise. I think you can use essentially any texture, but for me I use like a simple noise texture. You can make one yourself just by using the filters and just making your own kind of texture pattern thingy. And it's set at color dodge with the texture each tip off, the depth at 50% opacity, or shit, not just 50%, sorry. And everything else is like 0, and the scale of the texture is so small, it's like 10%. You can hardly see the actual noise. And I think that's the right setting to get some thickness. So if I turn off the texture, shit, like you actually have to it doesn't I don't like it. It doesn't have like a thickness to it. It's too opacity-ish or too transparent. But if I turn on this setting for the texture, I do like the thickness that comes with it. Parts of it are still kind of, it's enough to be an airbrush still, but you can actually paint with it and be thicker, right? Right? And you can go small to kind of shade or draw, right? And go big to kind of fill in or treat it more like a wash thingy, right? If you want to make a cut, just make the brush smaller, and do that sort of thing, right? Oh shit, we're at 123. Fuck. And again, no rush. I'm only doing this because I felt like I wasn't, like, just one study was kind of boring. Ani-chan. Fuck. I'm pretty excited though. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. Help me out, bro. Or bro-s. I need some traffic. And hopefully by this year I reach like the 500 Patreon mark. Because to me, that I can treat it by that time I can actually treat it like a job, right? Because I have like enough funding to help support my shit. Why am I rendering this forearm? I did that with this guy, right? So just sketch. I'm not sure when, but again, it's very heavily dependent on my reach. Followers aren't always the main thing, because I've seen people with like millions of followers that have hardly any engagement. I'm pretty sure you've seen folks like that. Like, it's so weird. Like, I'm not sure if they're bought, like the followers are bought or something. I can't say, but yeah, it's not always like a clear-cut relationship, right? So yeah. Although I feel like if I just post more videos and make those videos be of value, I think I'm going to have a good time, or I'm going to have a better engagement there. Because I mentioned this in the past, in the recent episode, or in the first episode of this series, how I needed to make content that's of value. Because I feel like if I just do the art reviews are cool for me, because they actually introduce different artists, and because I do have this big list of artists, right, that I constantly keep updating. So I would like to share my takes on shit like that. And they're actually one of the best, or it's the longest series I have so far that's actually proven to get me some decent traffic, and it's actually something that I enjoy doing, you know. So that's good. But I feel like that's not enough to provide value. So again, going back to Arlie's advice. Well, it's not advice. She wanted a playlist of the tutorials so she can kind of easily navigate through shit. And I get the point. And that was kind of the reminder for me to jump back on the tutorials, because people actually watch them, I guess. And so yeah, I should do something about that and post shit. Teach shit. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just being able to talk to someone and just show you just a straightforward kind of approach, not very formal kind of education. Because I am betting that most of us here in this community, if we are some kind of community, we're mostly we don't have any formal education. And I do think most of the artists in the world are not really formally trained ones. Yeah, like we just use the internet and stuff like that, or books to learn shit, and that's pretty much it, you know. Oh shit. Oh shit, we're at 128. Oh, maybe I can move the reference over here. Right? And I'll just roughly indicate the I'll make lock this thingy, and I'll make a new layer, just a last minute kind of thing, and just suggest what to work on after rendering this, or figuring out the details and shit, or the cuts and refinement thingies. So I want to suggest the sword or a spear. That's what I want to practice kind of breaking down, right? After working on this and the cable thingy here, right? Shadow part. And I do like the almost white thing here. Oh, you can see a bit of the shoulder in the back, I guess. Oh shit. Very rough. Oh shit, we're at 129. we're going to be at 1:30 soon, so fuck it. Oh shit, we're at 1:30, so I think we can stop there for this video. I can't stop. Okay. There we go. I think that's stop, Dave. Dave, just stop, please. Stop. It's okay. There's always tomorrow. Well, that's not true. Oh! Knock on wood. Okay, that's enough. And I feel like I should complete the sheet, right? And fill in these areas here. I don't know. Wait, what's the reason? I don't want to waste time with these sorts of sessions, right? I want to get the design, learn more about making something look more sci-fi-ish. Sci-fi in a sense, like Darling in the Franxx, Evangelion, Xenomorphs, Predator, Engineers, that kind of organic, mechanical kind of thing. Yeah, okay. I think this was a good session. Thank you so much for watching this episode of the Art With Me series. Please join me, subscribe, please. And yeah, keep painting and stay free.